Coming up on UCF Nightly News. Find out how UCF celebrated veterans on Veterans Day. Plus, find out what UCF is doing in the fight against drug overdoses. And what new technology UCF is developing for kids in grade school. In sports, find out how UCF basketball did in the season opener. Nightly News starts now. Oh, hey Kelly, nice to see you.
Thanks so much for having me, Tania. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Kelly Gilmore.
And I'm Tania Sims. Today is Friday, November 12th, 2021. And we are starting off this newscast with a brawl that happened at Memory Mall. 3 UCF fraternities received suspension this week due to a fight. The fight broke out during last Saturday's tailgate between Phi Beta Sigma, Alpha Phi Alpha, and Omega Psi Phi. The video of the fight has since been posted on social media platforms such as TikTok and Twitter. The university has yet to make an announcement about the fight, and the details of the suspension have yet to be released. Nightly News will keep you updated on any new information that becomes available.
UCF paid their respects at Memory Mall in honor of Veterans Day this week. The ceremony remembered those who have served our country. Nightly News reporter Kirk Churchill had a seat at the event and he captured the sounds of the ceremony.
As Abraham Lincoln wisely said, quote, "It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work." In this case, the unfinished work is to honor and care for the nation's veterans. For those, the living, and for the dead, we would like to have a moment of silence and taps.
Veterans Day was Thursday. Nightly News wants to wish our very own reporter Kirk Churchill a happy Veterans Day.
According to the Veteran Academic Research Center, there are 1,486 student veterans attending UCF. One of those student veterans is Sergeant Yamil Casaril. Computer engineering major Casaril says he wanted to do something different from what others in his high school were doing. Then a U.S. Marine Corps recruiter visited his high school. After serving as a photographer in the Marines for 5 years, Casserole set foot on campus for the first time just 3 days after he was honorably discharged.
It felt weird at first because the only times I was seeing college on campus was like kind of in the movies, and you know there wasn't a huge dorm. So yeah, it was exactly like how I imagined it.
Casserole says the Marines is just a part of his life, and while he enjoyed his job with the Marines, he now enjoys working with computers. He is on the path to become a first-generation graduate. According to AddictionCenter.com, college students are at a high risk of substance abuse. UCF is working to combat the drug epidemic. I will tell you more about what UCF is doing. UCF Student Health Services began providing free Narcan to students beginning this fall semester. Narcan, also known as naloxone, is a drug used to reverse an opioid overdose. UCF's marketing specialist for student health services, Crystal Zavallo, says opioids like fentanyl can be found in a variety of drugs and can affect anyone.
It's not just, someone got really wasted and doesn't remember the night and the next day doesn't feel good. They don't have a next day.
Students can visit the student health services, provide their student ID, fill out a form to obtain the Narcan. Megan Giddens is the assistant director at UCF's Substance Use Disorder Services office. She says it's important that students know that there are laws in place protecting both Samaritans and victims when reporting a drug-related medical emergency.
So the Good Samaritan Act is basically if anybody were needing medical attention for substance-related, they are not going to be arrested or penalized for calling for help.
UCF plans on launching its Act Now, Call 911, Take Action program, or ACT program. It will target student leaders to serve as influencers to their peers. The program is expecting to launch in spring 2022. In Orlando, Tania Sims, UCF Nightly News. If you're near someone who may be experiencing a possible overdose, do not hesitate to call 911. Students can reach out to the Student Health Services for more information.
Take out your fanny packs nights because it's EDC weekend. Orlando Police is expecting about 95,000 people each day. You can still purchase tickets online at edcorlando.com. Be sure to stay safe. You can contact Orlando PD if you need help. A 20-year-old woman died in a crash on Saturday at 2:30 a.m. while checking on a struck deer. A Florida Highway Patrol press release says the woman died instantly after a car hit her on Gemini Boulevard, steps away from UCF's main campus. The press release says she stopped her car in the center travel lane and turned on her hazard lights when a 23-year-old woman traveling northbound on Alafaya Trail struck the woman. FHP says the crash is still under investigation. Nightly News will keep you updated as more information becomes available.
Going to college may seem like a normal thing to do, but for some, it's making history. This week, UCF is celebrating accomplishments for first-generation students. First-gen students gathered at the Student Union to take pictures with Polaroid cameras. According to the UCF website, 24% of the student body are first-generation students. Kiera Lynn is a recent first-gen master's graduate. She now works at UCF helping other students like herself.
I just want to speak to the importance of highlighting first-generation students on campus. The events that they have going on this week are super amazing, and as a first-generation student, I'm proud to say that I'm a UCF Knight, and I can't wait to see the rest of the amazing events this week.
To get involved, visit their Instagram at ucf.firstgennights to learn more about upcoming events.
UCF lit up the Charging Knight statue red in honor of Red Day. Taylor Swift has unlocked the vault with a re-recording of her acclaimed 2012 album, Red. The original album featured 16 tracks. The new upgraded version has 30 tracks. Swifties say the album is making them cry their hearts out.
Hey Kendall, can you tell us what the weather will be like for the rest of the day?
Well, Tania, we're looking at a great start to the weekend. After a morning filled with rain showers, the rest of the day is looking brighter. It's going to be sunny with some cloud coverage. We will have a high of 78 degrees. Humidity is at 81%. Winds are heading west to northwest at 4 miles per hour and gusts up to 6 miles per hour. There is no chance of rain tonight, so feel free to leave your umbrellas at home. If you're heading out for some weekend fun, you might want to bring a jacket because Florida fall is in full swing with chilly nights. Back to you, Tania and Kelly.
When we come back, find out what the opera program is performing this weekend.
Plus, learn more about a new bus encouraging kids to learn about science.
UCF opera program is ready to blow the house away with their Scenes performance this weekend. The program will perform scenes from operas this Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m. The performances will feature scenes by composers like Mozart, Verdi, and Massenet, and a scene by a rising opera composer. Kelsey Trent is a senior voice major, and she says she is excited to perform again.
I haven't done a stage production in a very long time, or at least it feels like. So I'm very excited to be able to work with all of these incredible people and to be able to finally put on an amazing show.
Students said the audience can expect to be moved from laughter to tears by the scenes. For more information on buying tickets, visit the box office at the School of Performing Arts.
An organization at UCF is using new technology to excite kids in grade school about science. This new technology will be launching on Wednesday. Nightly News reporter Clara takes us inside the construction of the GeoBus.
Citizen Science GIS, a research organization at UCF, is launching America's first GeoBus on Wednesday. Originally owned by Lynx, the bus is now a solar-powered science lab on wheels. Citizen Science GIS will drive the bus to K-12 schools across Florida to teach kids about geospatial science. Geospatial science deals with collecting, analyzing, and presenting geographic information, or as Citizen Science GIS likes to put it, maps, drones, and apps. Tim Hawthorne, the founder of Citizen Science GIS, says he hopes the bus inspires kids to become future scientists.
We want kids to be able to see that future and get excited about how these technologies can open up science for them. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is that excitement and that belief in oneself.
Hawthorne says the bus will provide students access to the latest technology. The bus will have learning stations with drones, virtual reality, and augmented reality. Outreach coordinator Elise Lorenzo says using this technology is rare, even for adults.
I'm almost 30 and I'm excited every time I come to the bus and looking at the different technologies. The geospatial technologies that we use aren't seen very commonly in schools.
Hawthorne says the bus already has a waiting list of 3,000 students. Citizen Science GIS will prioritize low-income schools when scheduling. In Orlando, Clarissa Moon, UCF Nightly News.
Citizen Science GIS will hold test events for the bus over the next few months. Hawthorne says he hopes that the bus will start its full schedule by mid-January.
Coming up, find out how students are sending donations overseas for the holidays.
And see how the weather is going to look like for the rest of the week.
As the holidays approach, the Venezuelan and Colombian Student Association came together to send goods to their countries. This is the first time they have collaborated for a project. Nightly News reporter Aidari Riera tells us how they plan to get the donations in before Christmas.
Students walking into the student union can bring food, toys, and clothes. Benza and Colza are collecting as many items as they can to give to those in need in their home countries. The organization placed boxes for each category, and each one has its own flag, so it's easier for donors to identify where their donations are being sent to. Benza's secretary, Diego Badui, is the one taking the lead on this project.
And in terms of sending it to our country, we are planning on working with couriers that can deliver them hopefully to the capital before the December 24th, so that people have them before Christmas. That's the idea.
Since this is the first time that they're sending donations, the organization expects this to be quite small compared to the ones that they plan on doing in future semesters.
Colza was inactive for almost a year, and it's making its comeback with this donation. Manuela Fonseca, Colza's member, has a foundation to help children in Colombia and said that inspired her to support this collaboration.
And all the idea to help and to give the food, clothes, and toys to people to Colombia was basically based on that.
Drop-off locations are the Student Union and at the UCF Global Building. In Orlando, Aidari Riera, UCF Nightly News.
If you want to contribute to this cause, you still have time. Donations will be accepted until the end of next week at the drop-off locations.
It's National Healthy Skin Month during the entirety of November. Dermatologists everywhere urge people to pay attention to their skin health. The American Academy of Dermatology says skincare looks different for everyone and all routines vary. Their website offers tips for achieving healthier hair, skin, and nails. They say to avoid products with an alcohol base because they can cause dryness and irritation. Nightly News will speak to a dermatologist to bring you more skincare tips next week. Hey Kendall, what's the weather looking like in Orlando for the rest of the week?
Well, Tania, we're going to have a high of 78 in Orlando, high of 76 in Jacksonville, 77 degrees in Tallahassee, a high of 79 degrees in Tampa, and a high of 79 degrees in Miami. For our lows, we have 65 degrees in Orlando, 57 degrees in Jacksonville, 56 degrees in Tallahassee, 69 degrees in Tampa, and a low of 75 degrees in Miami. For our rain percent chance, we have 5% in Orlando, 20% in Jacksonville, a 0% chance of rain in Tallahassee, a 42% chance of rain in Tampa, and a 65% chance of rain in Miami, so bring along those umbrellas. For our 5-day forecast, we have a high of 78 degrees on Saturday, a low of 55 degrees on Saturday, and a 45% chance of rain. So for EDC, bring along those ponchos. On Sunday, we have a high of 70 degrees, a low of 52 degrees, and a 2% chance of rain. So if you're heading to that concert, you might want to bring your sunscreen. On Monday, we have a high of 70 degrees, a low of 52 degrees, and a 2% chance of rain. On Tuesday, we have a 74-degree high, a 56-degree low, and a 2% chance of rain. On Wednesday, we have a high of 77 degrees, a low of 61 degrees, and a 5% chance of rain. So for the week of school, you're looking at a beautiful fall week with chilly temperatures. Make sure to bring along those jackets. Don't get caught without one because it's a really chilly week for fall. Back to Tania and Kelly for the rest of the newscast.
Coming up in sports, find out how the men's basketball team started off the season.
Plus, find out how the football team will look to extend their win streak against SMU.
What's up, Knights fans? I'm Johan Blanco, and here's your UCF Sports Update. The UCF women's basketball team look to make it 2 in a row as they take on the Tennessee Volunteers at home. The Lady Knights started off the season with a win against Duquesne this past Tuesday. Students can claim their tickets on the UCF Knights app. Tip-off time will be at 6 p.m. Speaking of basketball, the UCF men's basketball team returned to additional financial arena Wednesday night. The Knights won their season opener against the Robert Morris Colonials. Nightly News reporter Andrew Carson tells us more about this matchup.
The men's basketball team is celebrating after defeating Robert Morris Wednesday night for the first game of the 2021-2022 season. The Knights battled it out with the Colonials winning 69-59. Head coach Johnny Dawkins says he wants to see his team play tough defense, something he's been building on going into this new season. The Knights got off to a fast start to the game, dominating for most of the first half by holding the Colonials to a mere 27% shooting average. The team racked up 42 points by the end of the first half, leaving them with a double-digit lead. Coach Dawkins says he wants his team to always begin with a fast start.
We want to be a tenacious defensive team all over the place, flying around defensively, and we want to turn that defense into offense. And I thought we showed definitely in spurts, that we can do that very well.
The Knights lost a bit of their momentum in the last 20 minutes of the game. The Colonials outscored the Knights 34-27 by the end of the second half. Darius Perry led the Knights with 18 points and 4 assists. He says his team is working on and off the court to strengthen their bond.
We can go 5 in and 5 out if we really wanted to. And then on top of that, the chemistry, we got a year to play with each other. Then you got the new guys coming in. All they got to do is gel with the older guys and be right back at it.
The Knights head south on Saturday to take on the Miami Hurricanes at 1 p.m. In Orlando, Andrew Carson, UCF Nightly News.
For more information on upcoming games for the 2021-22 season, visit the UCF Athletics website at ucfknights.com. The UCF men's soccer team prepared for their biggest game of the season as they take on Tulsa in the AAC championship game. The Knights defeated the Memphis Tigers in the semifinals 6-0 to advance to the finals. So you could say it was a pretty close game. To support our Knights, tune in this Sunday on ESPN Plus at 1 p.m. UCF looks to extend their winning streak in the Lone Star State against the SMU Mustangs. The Knights have won 3 straight following their loss to Cincinnati in early October. They have outscored their opponents 87-24 and have risen to 3rd in the AAC standings. UCF is facing the Mustangs in Dallas for the first time since the 2017 season, where they won a nail-biter 31-24. Head coach Gus Malzahn says he looks forward to the challenge playing on the road.
There's something to be said about playing on the road, that closeness, that it's you against the world type mentality, which, most players and coaches like. And when you're playing a good team, you really look forward to the challenge.
The Knights enter the game as a 7-point underdog. To support the team in their Texas takeover, tune into ESPN at noon to catch all the action. Guys, this is a really big moment in sports. Basketball starting, football still going on, and we're like the Golden State Warriors because we're catching all these dubs. Tania and Kelly, back to you guys.
Thank you, Johan. It's looking good for the Knights. That's all our time for right now. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our Twitter at UCF Nightly News.
And if you got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynewsucf@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Coming up on UCF Nightly News. Find out how UCF celebrated veterans on Veterans Day. Plus, find out what UCF is doing in the fight against drug overdoses. And what new technology UCF is developing for kids in grade school. In sports, find out how UCF basketball did in the season opener. Nightly News starts now.